we don't appreciate being single enough. Like, I used to find myself all the time being like, oh, like, I just want a boyfriend. Like, I just want a boyfriend, until I had one. And then most of the time, like, ugh, such an inconvenience. And like, yes, relationships are great, but like, also you have the rest of your life to like be stuck with a person. Not stuck, like hopefully happily married, but like, you have the rest of your life to be in a relationship. Be fucking single. Go out, have fun. Enjoy your fucking independence. Enjoy going out without having to tell a single person like, oh, this is what I'm doing. You can book a fucking trip and like not even think twice about it. Go be single. It's actually so much fun. Like, it's actually so much fun. Like, I thought I would hate it. Like, oh, I'm gonna miss cuddling with someone. I have a fucking stuffed animal that loves cuddling with me, okay? Like, I don't have to explain myself to anyone, to literally anyone. Like, yes, having a boyfriend was so fun to like go on dates and stuff, but like, me and my friends go on dates all the time, and I actually have so much fun. I love girls' nights so much more. And like, yeah, I thought holidays would be sad until I was with my boyfriend, and that made holidays sad. Like, I could have been just fucking single, living my best life. Like, yes, relationships can be comforting, but like, you have the rest of your life to do that, okay? Be fucking single, go out and be hot. That's my advice. That's my advice.
Beware of being single for so long, because you will develop a reluctance towards relationships since you become so comfortable being by yourself. You know how it is, right? When you get to do whatever you want, whenever you want, no need to check in with anyone whatsoever. It's a liberating feeling. But the flip side is you might find yourself creating a life that's so perfectly tailored to being solo that the idea of adding someone else to the mix feels more like a hassle than a benefit. Think about it. The longer you're on your own, the more you're set in your own ways. Simple things like deciding what movie to watch or how to spend a lazy Sunday, those choices are yours alone, no compromises. And yes, it's super convenient, but over time, you might start to feel like adjusting to someone else's habits and preferences could be too much change. Plus, the whole setup that you've got going on, it can start to feel like a fortress that you just don't want to leave. You've gotten too comfortable. And the main reason why you don't want to get back out there is probably because of vulnerability. Let's just call a spade a spade. Jumping back into the dating scene and opening up to someone new can honestly feel pretty daunting. And honestly, jumping back in general can just be exhausting too. But here's the thing. Stepping out of that comfort zone is actually so worth it. Relationships bring new perspectives and experiences that you can't just find on your own. Sure, it takes some adjustments. And yes, it means being open to getting hurt. But the personal growth and connections you gain, they are priceless. It's all about finding that balance and not letting that comfort of being alone keep you from potentially great experiences. And I'm not saying jump into a relationship just cause or being single is bad, because I know people who would rather be single because they've tried it, and that's cool too. But I'm saying don't get too comfortable to the point where you miss the potential opportunity of finding someone. So I'm just saying open up and get back out there.
I have been single literally all my life, okay? And I am 20 years old, but I would not have it any other way, because I am looking. That's the thing, like, people are like, why are you still single? Like, what? I am looking for a specific relationship. A specific relationship, how I want it to be. And I am okay with being single if that means I will never get it in my lifetime. I will never settle. And I have come so far. I've been single for 20 fucking years. I have come so far to the point where, like, if I would settle, it would be a joke. It would be a joke. And the thing is like, people are like, your standards are too high. You have too high standards. But the thing is, I've seen like what I want from a relationship within other people. Like, I've seen it. I know it exists because I exist. So there, that's all you fucking need. Okay. But I know it exists because I've also seen it. Like, I have a specific thing I'm looking for, and I just refuse to settle. Point blank, period. Does that make me cold-hearted and heartless with men? Maybe, okay? Because I just don't fucking entertain everybody on the block. But the thing is, like, I just don't care. I have curated such a close relationship with me and myself, myself, and I, okay? It's true, though. I have such a close relationship with myself, and I have made my life to be what I've wanted it to be forever. And I give everything that I want to myself. And I have such an amazing family and amazing friends that, like, I'm not going to settle for a stupid ass. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But yeah.
Just gonna put it out there. Celibate and single is the new sexy. I'm going to say it again. Celibate and single is the new sexy. Nobody's trying to continue going around sleeping with all these different kind of people who done had all these different partners. And then you come into their life. They done slept with 30, 40 different people. And you done downloaded all the demons they done had in their life. Not all the demons in your life. I'm telling you right now, celibate and single is the new sexy. You know, I think each person need to be celibate at least a year and single at least a year before they consider dating somebody else, to get all of that demonic, them soul ties, get all of that stuff up out of you. You know, I'm at a year now of actually being celibate and single. Do I like it? No, but it is what it is. And I probably needed it too, just to get this girl out of me who I was with before, you know, get her completely out of me, out of my system, so that I can go on. And if I, you know, get into a relationship with somebody else, I don't carry all of that baggage in. But it's a good idea. It's a good idea to be celibate and single. And you want to check people when you date them too, to make sure, you know, ask them, how long have you been celibate? Because if somebody only been celibate like probably 2 weeks, then you probably don't even want to deal with that person. Or you just probably want to date them and not even have, you know, any kind of intimacy with them. I wouldn't suggest intimacy anyway, unless you're married to the person. But you want to make sure this person been celibate for a while, to make sure they ain't carrying nothing. Not just STDs, but sexually transmitted demons. You want to be around this person for a while before you allow yourself to be hugged up with this person or to be kissing this person. You don't know what this person carrying. You don't know where they've been. That's why I said celibate and single is the new sexy. If I meet somebody, I want to ask you a question, not just the normal question, but I want to know how long you've been celibate. How long has it been since you've been intimate with somebody else? Because I think that's a very important question that we just slip on. We always asking about people's money, what kind of job you have, you know, different questions, but we never ask anybody, well, when was the last time you've been intimate with somebody? Because if you don't ask that question, I mean, they could easily lie to you, but that's a question you want to know, because somebody might be carrying some soul ties or some demonic ties with them. So I'm going to say it again, celibate and single is the new sexy. And I never thought like this as a kid growing up. I wanted to hit everything I could. But now I'm very selective on who I even want to be around. So celibate and single, say it with me, is the new sexy.
Thank God I'm not engaged. Thank God I'm not married. Thank God I have no kids. Like, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. You know how cool that is? You are in your 20s, no relationship, no kids, nothing tying you down. You can go anywhere. You can do anything. Instead of being bummed, like, oh, I haven't found my person yet, blah, blah, blah. The person will come. Just build the life that you want. So much more fun just doing things for you and building that relationship with you. And it's so cheesy, but like, I'd rather be hanging out with me than compromising with some dude. Been there, done that.
Why do intelligent women, or so many of them, remain single or prefer to be single? It's a great question. And when we're dealing with any person that's intelligent, they know themselves. They've done a deeper level of work on themselves. They have learned to love themselves. They a better boundary. In other words, they are going to own their nose. When someone unhealthy or toxic enters their life, they're not going to lean into them and say, yes, how can I please you? How can I help you? How can I support you? How can I maximize your needs and minimize mine? They've done a level of self-work on themselves. They are self-sufficient. They are less reliant on men. They aren't going to tolerate bullshit. They aren't going to tolerate games. As a result of that, they're not choosing the same kind of partnership over and over again and wondering, why is this happening? They've made the unconscious patterns and trauma in their lives conscious. They've actually equilibrated and worked with their trauma. And that really is, I mean, intelligence is a very layered conversation and a very layered concept. But when we're talking about relational intelligence and emotional intelligence in relationship, it is vested and grounded in self-love. It is vested and grounded in moving beyond the patterns of the past that have been survival patterns and into patterns of thriving. These intelligent women, and this is what I admire so much about them, are not only curious about their own lives, but they're not willing to settle. So they are happy to be single, and they can find and create joy in their world outside of needing partnership. So partnership becomes a desire, and a healthy partnership becomes a priority. What are your thoughts on that?
Things I love about being single. My friend was like, oh, like I'm so lonely. I wish I had someone, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to tell you why we should be grateful for why me and you, I bet you're single, why we should be grateful about it. Number 1, learning more about yourself. We get to learn about what we like to do in our spare time. We get to learn about what we like to do when nobody else is watching. We get to learn about everything, how we feel, what we are in our loneliness. What do we want when we're lonely? How are we going to react to certain things? Everything. We learn what our hobbies are, what we do in our spare time. Literally everything. We learn so much about ourselves. Number 2, the freedom. Honestly, I think that's the best one, but the freaking freedom that we get from it. We do not have to sit there and wait if he's going to text us back and think, oh my gosh, how long? Is he even going to text me today? When's he going to text me back? No. The freedom that we have to think of nothing. We don't need to worry about what he's doing. Is he cheating on us? Who cares? Because he's not there. We do not need to worry about anything. We have that freedom. We can go out. We can make out with whoever we want. We can do whatever we want. We can give a number to whoever we want because we have that freedom. Number 3, we get to better ourselves. We get to literally go to the gym whenever we want. We can eat whatever we want. We don't have to go out on dates if we don't feel like it. We can go on dates when it's our cheat day. We can pick and choose that. We can literally have all the time in the world to better ourselves. Get better at your job. Get better at your hobby. Go to the gym more. Get more tighter. Get more lean. Do your thing. Number 4, we all know that scared feeling that we get when we think something's wrong or someone is losing interest or someone's cheating on us or whatever. That pit that you have in your stomach. No. When we're single, we don't have that. We do not have that because we're not worrying about anyone. And last but not least, number 5, we don't know anyone anything. We don't need to tell anyone where we're going, what we're doing, how we're feeling, how much we're spending on anything. Literally anything. We do not owe anything to anyone. So be happy if you're single, okay? Because this is your time to thrive.
When I tell you that celibacy is the key, celibacy is the key. Because not only will it help you upgrade your own life and it will help you bring back your power to yourself, but your level of tolerance for bullshit is gonna come to 0. Because you're gonna spend so much time on your own energy instead of giving it freely to other people, because we have a portal between our legs as divine feminines. Don't forget, we have a portal, right? So when there's energy that comes in any shape, way, or form or whatever from a different human being, I'm not talking about toys, I'm talking about a different human being. When there's energy that comes, they take that energy, it's a portal, they have access to our energy. So when we become celibate, we just stay with our own energy and we have a pool of energy that is in between our legs now and that is just firing up. So I always say, me, the next guy that I'm going to sleep with after my celibacy is going to be my husband, first of all. Second of all, I think I'm going to break him. No shame. I think I'm going to break him. And you know what? That's fine, because anyways, he's going to be my husband. But it's because there's so much energy that is pulling inside of you, so much energy that eventually you need to create, you need to do something. Whereas when you use the energy that you have within you during sexual activities and you just go and have fun with men that are not, or with people, whatever your gender, whatever your preferences are, when you do it with people that don't know what to do with your energy or that just take your energy, you can't create, and you don't have enough inside of you to be able to create anything in your life. Celibacy is literally you filling up your body, filling up the cup with your energy. So you're not letting anything come out. You're not letting anything come in to be able to take it out. You're not letting any external energy touch the energy within inside of your cup. So your cup is all closed. And you're filling it up with water, filling it up to the point where you see that it's getting to the edge where it's about to overflow. And that's where you get to the point where literally it's as if you're a cat scratching the walls because you're I need the weight of a man on me, or I need to jump the next guy that I see. That's the energy, is because you're getting to the edge. You're getting to the edge of that cup where you're about to overflow. And you're I have so much energy inside of me, I need to do something. That's where you're at, where you need to create something. You have extra energy. It's because the pool of your sacral and of your root is so filled up with energy that you need to do something. And usually because it's in the sacral and the root chakra, we automatically as a society link it to sexual activities. But when you're celibate and you don't have anybody, and at the same time you have no tolerance for bullshit, I'm telling you, I don't know, my next guy, I swear he's gonna have to be my husband, because if he passes the walls that I have, a man tells me hi right now and I'm fuck off. I'm fuck off. Because also when you're celibate and when you're already like spiritually in tune, when you link the two together, you have your energy, you have your intuition, you have your third eye, you have like all of your chakras aligned, you're spiritual, you're connected already. You don't have tolerance for anything or anybody. Somebody making a small teasing joke, you're looking at them and you're seeing past that. You're not even seeing like a guy, for example, coming in with their insecurities and coming in and teasing you about how you wear your hair. It doesn't pass. It doesn't pass. And that's not just about celibacy. It's when you're very spiritually in tune, you see past it and you're like, oh, if I let this joke pass and I just laugh at it, he's going to think that it's okay. And that's where the bigger jokes come in, where they start laughing at other things and they start degrading you, etc. Because you see past it. You don't see the joke. The guy's not joking. The guy's trying to see through his own insecurities how much he can degrade you. And you're going to get it if you're going to get it. Like, I'm sorry, you're going to get it if you're going to get it. And I'm not talking about like flirty teasing or friendly teasing or witty comebacks. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking literally like if you look at someone and you know that they're insecure and they're trying to like see the field, like test the field and be like, oh, like where can I put my insecurities to degrade that woman to be able to put her down? And that's the thing, like the more celibate you are, the more you advance in celibacy and the more that you work on your own self as well, like through spirituality, through everything, you see past everything. So like sometimes I sit and I'm thinking like that man is gonna have to fucking like he's gonna have to be like the most strong spiritual man to ever exist, first of all, and second of all, like he's gonna need to have worked on all of his shadow, because right now a man approaches me and has 1 ounce of shadow, I block them. Like literally, I do not play about block. I do not play about blocking. I do not play about anything. I'm like, I have zero tolerance, zero tolerance for anybody who has a shadow that has not been worked on, because I will not burden myself to make you comfortable in your lack of spiritual work when I know how much work I've put in my own spiritual work. I will not burden myself to be patient with someone who doesn't want to do the work when I know that I've done the work. Like I've gotten to that point. And the more that you advanced in, again, celibacy, that cup is flowing. So it's like you took the time to fill up your cup, and it's not just anybody that can come in and touch that cup. They can't. They need to have a specific level. They need to have their cup needs to be filled as well. Because there's absolutely no way that you're going to take your full cup that you've worked so hard to fill up. Because celibacy is hard. Like, especially if you have like a strong libido, celibacy is hard. It's not easy. Sometimes you do want to like, just come over, whatever. But then your body rejects him, literally. Your body gets to a point where you reject insecure man, and where you reject toxic man, and where you reject like people that haven't done the shadow work. You reject them. And you're going to get it if you're going to get it. So anyways, all that to say, if you are currently going through celibacy and you're currently feeling that, you're feeling the pulse of energy, you're feeling the high energy, if you're feeling like you're getting pickier and pickier with guys, if you feel like your tolerance level is at 0, where you don't tolerate any type of bullshit from anybody or from anything, it's good, you're on the right track. It means that you're really ascending to a point where you are seeing your worth, you are seeing that you're golden, you are seeing that you're a diamond, you are seeing that you're powerful, and you truly do not want any type of energy around you that can even tarnish it or touch your full cup to any level. And that's why your tolerance level goes to 0. Like you have zero tolerance for a man that comes in and flirts with you, but is like, you can see past it that they haven't done the work. Like the tolerance, like, I don't know about you guys, but me, I get disgusted. Like a guy, I swear, a guy will flirt with me that I know hasn't done the work. I will get disgusted, and I will not, like, I will show it. I will not hide it. I will literally look at him and be like, in what world? Like, seriously, please, like, please get out, leave. Because there's no patience, there's no tolerance for it. So bless the man that I'm gonna marry, because truly he's gonna have to be something.
I can understand why men have given up dating, because can someone make it make sense for me how these women want men to text them back fast, but not too fast, that it's too creepy. They want men to make 6 figures while working 20 hours a week while they still have quality time with them. You know, if he has a good relationship with his mom, then that means he treats women well. But if he doesn't have a relationship with his mom, then that means he's automatically abusive. But then she doesn't want to ever talk about her daddy issues. If he's too nice and too kind, then that means that he wants something from you, or, you know, there's an assumption that he's just buying you gifts and whining and dining you because he wants sex. But if he doesn't wine and dine you, then he's lazy, he doesn't care, and he's not putting in enough effort. You want men to lead, but you don't want to listen. You want men to show their masculinity and take charge and plan dates, but not too much masculinity that he comes off as aggressive, mean, rude, or condescending. You want men to be in tune with your emotions, but if he's too emotional, then he's weak and you don't trust him to make decisions and lead. He has to be attractive, but not too attractive that he looks like a fuckboy or somebody that gets around, because if he's too attractive, then he has too many options. But if he's not attractive enough, then you're not even looking in his direction. If he has a child and a baby mom, then you automatically assume that, you know, what baby mom would want to be single, and that makes him toxic. But if he's never been married or in a committed relationship, then that also makes him toxic, and that's a red flag because he's never been in a relationship before. You want men to initiate the dating stages of a relationship. You want men to initiate sex, but then when he stops initiating sex, then you assume that he's cheating on you. You want men to be honest and open and upfront, but your idea of honest and open and upfront is basically him telling you only the truth that validate your feelings and your experiences, because the moment that he invalidates how you feel, now he's narcissistic, he's abusive, and he is mentally and emotionally using you and abusing you. These women will always say that they want men to be themselves and be authentic to who they are, but then there's an entire list of icks, like wearing sandals in winter, or him just getting coffee, or him getting sepsis, and you think it's funny and you're posting it on social media, but the moment that he posts an ugly picture of you on social media, now he's a piece of crap and he's picked the wrong picture, and now you feel bad about yourself. If he dresses well and he takes care of himself, then he's too feminine and he's trying to show off. But if he doesn't dress well enough and he doesn't show off and he dresses average, then he looks like a broke-ass loser bum and you want nothing to do with him. You want that man to have hobbies like going to play golf or gaming, but if he games too much or plays golf too much or it inconveniences your lifestyle or what you have going on, now you're pissed off. But if he doesn't have any hobbies, then he's a loser because he's too obsessed with you. But if he has too many hobbies and takes away time from you, then he doesn't care enough. If a man respects a woman's boundaries, then he's being too creepy because he's just too good of a man. But if he doesn't respect her boundaries, then he's likely to abuse her or SA her later on down the road. If a man speaks loud, then that means that he's aggressive. If he speaks too soft, then that means he's too feminine. Men expect constant attention and praise all of the time. So if you give too much, then you're trying too hard. But if you give too little, then you're a lazy bum and you don't match the guys in her DMs. These women don't want men to be manipulative or liars or cheaters, but they'll turn around and show their butt cheeks online and call it, body positivity to basically cheat on you and be narcissistic, but then it's still all of your fault. And the sad reality is that you could give a woman everything that she could ever dream of: the house, the money, the cars, the emotional stability. You could provide, you could protect, you could check all of the boxes down the list, and guess what? She's going to turn around and say that she's bored, she's uninspired, she's not attracted to you. She's going to cheat on you with the next guy down the street who has no job, all because Susie Q has a better life on Instagram. But not only that, when she says that she's unhappy, she's going to get online and talk about how you're a narcissist, how you're abusive, even though you gave her everything that she could ever want. And every single step of the way that the goalpost changed or the expectation, especially unrealistic expectations, changed, you gave it to her and it still wasn't enough. So yeah, if anyone is ever wondering why men have stopped dating, this is a perfect example, because even as a woman, if you really sit back and look at it, it's so unrealistic and it's so delusional and it's so narcissistic that who the hell would want to put themselves through this? And it makes sense when you really think about it, because none of it actually makes sense. Women don't actually know what they want. They love the highs and lows of being incompatible with the wrong people instead of just being at peace. And then they blame the men for the unfulfillment and the lack of peace within their lives, even though they're the ones creating this diabolical cycle over and over with different men. Okay, bye.
I don't understand why men of nowadays are no longer resilient with chasing women. If a woman gives them their number and they call the woman and she doesn't pick, let's say she was at work, that's it. He's no longer going to call you again. I want to understand what has changed. Back in the day, if you meet a beautiful woman and you like her, you get her number from her. She might prove hard at first, but you strike a very good conversation, you get her number. Immediately you get home, that day you are calling her, hey, what's up? How are you doing? You really made me smile. I think we should get to speak more and get to know ourselves. You chat her up every morning before you go to work. You call her in the evening when you come back from work. You continuously keep on talking to her. You try to ask her to get on a date with you. She might give you some excuses here and there, but men have always been known to be chasers, to pursue women. Now, when I say pursue women, I don't mean the toxic type where the woman does not care about you. She blatantly doesn't want you and you're still pursuing. No, you can see that this woman has some interest in you. She's missed your call maybe once or twice and you just give up. I don't understand why men of nowadays no longer chase women, especially black men raised abroad. Black men in the UK, I don't know about America, but black men in the UK do not chase women. A woman wants to feel needed. She wants to feel wanted. Forget about this equality nonsense. A man should chase a woman. You get her number, you call her, check in on her. Even when she misses your call, you call her. Be agile, chase a woman. Let her wake up to seeing your missed calls. At some point, you don't have to care if she's reciprocating, because at that point, you are the one that likes her. So what you're trying to do is bring her to a point where she pays attention to you and then she will now like you. I'm not saying chase women who don't like you, but as a man who's chasing a woman, you need to understand that there is that window period where you might have to almost do all of the work, do most of the calling, do most of the checking in, do most of the planning of the date, try to get her to meet you and all of that stuff. It is normal. It is not. This is how life used to be. I don't understand why men are just sitting down and expecting women to call them. If a woman misses their call only once, they give up, they delete their numbers. What is going on? What's happening? You can't tell me that no woman is worth your time and your energy to chase her. You can't tell me that. Yes, there are a few not okay women, but there are still lots of women that deserve to be chased and pursued. So what is going on?
So I saw this study last night said 80% of men have just given up on dating. Specifically, men over the age of 30 have just given up on dating. They don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth it to them. So women are picking over a whole bunch of dirtbag men and sleeping with a bunch. But the men out there who are actually husband material have no interest in dating. Why? That's my question for you today. Why do you have no interest in dating? I'm going to tell you my opinion on why I don't. Also, women, if you want to chime in here and give us your opinion, please do so. But my example, I'm 40 plus. Okay. The reason I haven't dated in years probably mostly has to do with the fact that my heart hasn't moved on from the past. And I don't want to date a woman and her think everything's going a lot better than it actually is. And then one day she sees on my face that the feeling's not entirely there, that it's still halfway somewhere else. And I don't want to put somebody through that. So I hold off on dating. But that's not the only reason. Okay. That's just a tiny piece of it. Another part of the reason is that, I just contradicted myself, didn't I? I said a large part and then a tiny piece. I got it. Anyway, it's part of it. Okay. Well, let's just say that. But it's also because you women, I see you on Facebook all the time talking about all the dates. Every single dude you go out with a date, you post on social media. And when it doesn't work out, you call them all sorts of names. And it's like you're dating 5 different dudes at the same time and talking smack about 3 of them in the same week. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. At some point, maybe the dude's not the problem. But I don't know. A lot of times I'm sure the dude is the problem. My only question is, why aren't men dating? Okay, I got off on a tangent there. I can tell you that it is kind of scary. I want one woman for the rest of my life. And I want that woman to want only me for the rest of our lives. And we can have fun, have a blast for the rest of our lives and be happy. And I am more than patient and more than willing to wait, because anything that I lose in the temporary will be absolutely worth it to find her. So that's why I'm waiting. But a whole lot of people are waiting for other reasons. Let me know what they are. Peace and hair grease.
Men are no longer obsessed with women. Men are growing out of that. Thank God. A lot of men are done with dating. They're not chasing women anymore, and they are on their mission to become successful. About time. You men need to realize everything I was saying in 2023 and 2024 has come true. All these women out here were just using you to go on what they call a date, but it's not a date. It is literally a way for her to eat for free. They don't want to be in love with anyone ever. The reason why these women don't want to be in love with anyone ever, because they have something that has replaced men. And that is her phone. The value that a woman puts on the attention that she gets from her phone is far more than actually settling down and being with one man. And she knows if she's in a relationship, she's not going to be able to spend time on her phone the way she does every single second of the day. Therefore, she does not want to be in a relationship. They're lying to you. They have always lied to you. I'm going to be honest with you. Ever since COVID, I think something was in that they took. Because before those days, They wanted to be in love. They wanted to be in relationships. Ever since they took that, they totally changed, yo. They totally changed. There's no way you could disagree with me. How many of you men have met a woman after COVID and you are in love with her still today? Very few of you, I bet. There's a reason for that. So I don't know what was in that, but something had to be in it because it is the only thing that we can say that millions of people all went out and did at the same time. And now the world is changed, yo. Something was in that because they don't want to be with a man anymore. And we got to understand that a lot of them have joined the rainbow anyway. A lot of them are a part of the rainbow. And let's just be honest with you. A lot of them are laying down with toys. You know, the rolls and all these different toys that they use. I want you to think about that. How could a woman ever want to be in love with you when she is more satisfied than a toy than she is a man? And when she is a part of the rainbow, why do you think she wants to be with you? She would rather have you buy her gifts, buy her food, and then she will get satisfaction out of a robot.
White people attempting to rebrand white rage by co-opting the term black fatigue as though it's a phenomena they actually experience but only recently found the language to talk about is both dystopianly weird and tragically on brand. The copying, the whitewashing, the centering themselves by playing victim. But what's ironically telling about it is that the concept of racial battle fatigue is not new. It's been around for decades. And the term black fatigue has been used by Black people for quite a while. Mary Frances Winters wrote a book that came out in 2020 titled Black Fatigue, and it describes the mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion that Black people experience because of systemic racism. Now, notice how Black people didn't call that white fatigue, because the purpose is not to assign blame in order to justify bad behavior. It is called Black fatigue because it is a harm that Black people experience, and so their focus is on addressing and combating that harm. Whereas when white people talk about experiencing Black fatigue, they are not talking about a harm that they experience because of Black people or anybody else. They are literally telling on their own inability to live in society with Black people. And that's not new either. That's a pathology that has existed for hundreds of years, but call it what it is, white rage.
So here's my honest opinion about Black fatigue. Black fatigue actually exists. However, Black fatigue does not exist in a way that a lot of non-Black people think. It has nothing to do with race and everything to do with culture. It is the culture, the society, and the environment you are raised in. It has nothing to do with race, and it never was about race, because if it was about race, then every Black person would be acting like that. Black fatigue is a poison well that is consumed by certain locations and environment. Another majorly important factor is accountability. If Black people in general don't hold each other and others accountable for our and their actions, there will be no change within our communities. The destruction of property and violence, the need to be extremely fucking loud and ratchet for no reason. I've seen some of these videos from non-white people talking about the Black fatigue, and they do have a point. And for the Black people who is watching this, believe me, I did not want to hear any of this shit from non-Black people. However, some of them, not all of them, because some of them were just straight up racist, but some of them had some solid points. When it comes to gentrification, credit score, stimulus check, lack of funding for Black public schools and neighborhoods, government, the CIA, United Healthcare, all of this was targeted towards the Black community so we can end up how we are today. At this moment in 2025, the CIA and the government, they're running on autopilot because we're doing the work for them. They have done enough damage towards the Black community that they can sit back, crack open a fucking beer, and watch us tear each other apart. The United States' greatest weapon they have on the Black community is the Black community not holding each other accountable for our actions. Truthfully, we need to start doing that more. We need to follow in our ancestors' footsteps, because what they had back then, they had it right. Not everything has to change and not everything has to be progressive. There are some things that they done in the past was better as it was, and that's completely fine. I am not saying we should just roll over and let them do what they want to do. Instead of only striving for Black excellence, we should also strive for Black power. Allow the ratchet, the ghetto, the ignorant and uneducated. I have mutual love for them because they are my brothers and sisters. Even then, most of the time, I do not associate with them. But it's because of people like this that exist in our community that gets the spotlight and paints the picture of what Black people seem like. They get all the attention. They always end up on the news. Why? It's because they cause a distraction. They cause a problem for other people. And you know who are the first ones to put us on the internet? You guessed it. The media. Hell, even our own people do it as well, for clout, for fame, for money. They sell out our own people, make us look bad just to fill up their pockets. And that is another problem to address in our community. Stop labeling us and stop painting us negatively just to make yourself look better or richer. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, when people like this in our community gets the spotlight, many people automatically assume that we are a monolith and we act like them. It's either you are ghetto, loud, and trashy, or you are whitewashed. They never look in between the lines and understand that black people are completely far from a monolith and we can be absolutely anything we want. Every non-black person, and yes, that includes every person of color, they always go out of their way to tell us that they are not a monolith, that they are all different. We are too. But while we have our own issues, it's important to teach history, but it's also important that we do what we can to change what is happening now. That is all I have to say on the matter. This is Onyx, and I'll see you guys next time.
App just now to see that the word black fatigue is trending amongst a lot of different people. And before I made this video, I scrolled on it and I said, let me see what people are talking about.
Because black fatigue is real. I think society as a whole is there. We are just so unbelievably fed up with the ghetto ratchet behavior, entitlement, the victimhood, camaraderie, animalistic. This is why people have black fatigue. I'm sick and tired of opening up TikTok and seeing brawls on cruise ships, brawls in the airport, like literally the most ghetto behavior. We're tired.
A white woman was talking about Shiloh Hendricks, the lady that called the 5-year-old the N-word. And she said, that shouldn't have happened, but people have black fatigue. People are tired of ghetto-ness, loudness. People are just tired of black people. So we all have fatigue. And it got me thinking, I've heard the phrase black fatigue before, and I know in my heart of hearts that that relates to the fatigue that black people experience existing in this country and around the world, dealing with racism and prejudices that have been put on us due to the history of violence, Jim Crow, segregation. So how are white people appropriating black fatigue? They replaced DEI with black fatigue. And you guys are using that because you're tired of being held accountable for things that you should be held accountable for in this country, and you want to be openly racist to us. This entire discourse is rooted in racism. You want to be able to say you're tired of black people for having a voice. You're tired of us for existing in spaces we exist in. You're tired of us for not all being poor. Tired of us. You're tired of the fact that some of us are doing better than you, but when we live in a country that is based on racism and systematic racism that still exists today, you can't be mad that we're calling you out for it. What the fuck are we talking about? America is a country that suffers from delusion, lack of education, and basically exists in a consistent state of dementia, because the cognitive dissonance that many white people have that exist in this country it alarms me. The fact that this country was founded and predicated on owning bodies and killing off natives. That is the foundation story of this country. Yes, we became one of the most successful countries in the world, but that is the heart and soul of this country. It is rooted in racism. The Declaration of Independence was rooted in racism. The Constitution was written with racism. So the fact that you think you can exist, and we're only out of segregation for how many years now? Not even a generation, not even 2 generations out of segregation. The fact that you think you can exist without racism internally inside of you is crazy. It's crazy. We're all racist. Everybody that exists out of a racist system is racist, especially if you are the one that benefited from said racism. You have to do a lot of unlearning, unpacking, and re-educating yourself onto what racism means, because you guys hear the word racism, you're like, I'm not racist, I have black friends. It doesn't mean you're going out with crosses on fire. There are levels to the internalized racism, the internalized biases versus violent, aggressive racism. But racism is the foundation of America. So the fact that you don't want to hear about it is not my problem. Funniest thing about white people in this country is that the lack of education that they have on their own history and how they've been all sold a lie and socialized to believe that they're here and we're violent and they're not is fucking crazy. You ever seen a redneck? You ever been to a trailer park? You ever seen a meth addict in New Mexico? That all of the people on welfare in this country are white. 96% of them are white. But meanwhile, black people are poor, uneducated, animalistic, violent. All the list goes on. Your ancestors literally killed off millions of people who are on this land, stole it, raped, robbed, killed them, stole us, raped, robbed, killed us, procreated with us, and made us procreate with each other and our families. Yet the list goes on. The only people who are sick with animalistic practices are you and your ancestors. Upon further review, after seeing 5 or 6 black people make this black fatigue video, it got me thinking into the respectability politics of this type of video they're making, because not only are they generalizing the actions of all black people and lumping us into one group, you are policing the actions of people per the standardized or acceptable behavior that white people are saying that we should have. Interesting. What you're doing by making these videos is you're allowing white people to not take accountability and not hold themselves to a standard that they can just be racist and prejudiced towards us and say that their behaviors are acceptable and their way of life and living is acceptable in this country, but ours isn't. It's really befuddling me that you as a black person can go online with your chest and say you have black fatigue because everybody's ghetto, or you have black fatigue because everybody's loud. That's not the fucking case. And even if you are, quote unquote, this highly educated, highly classy black person, you're still loud. You still have an auntie who looks like the person you're talking about. You still have cousins who are the people you're talking about. So why make this video? I will never understand black people that pander to white people. I will never. There's nothing in my being that would ever allow me to have an internal conversation externally on this app, so white people feel comfortable saying how they feel about us in the open and make it a whole thing. Imagine you are allowing white persons to say they have black fatigue. They're tired of black people being victims. They're tired of black people saying racism. They're tired of black people existing. Every day on this app is something new. Y'all got to do better. Do better.